I am pretty sure that you love the bike that you own, or if you're lucky enough, the bikes that you own. Otherwise, you would never have chosen it. But one of the biggest curses of being a bike addict is that we can always imagine another bike in our lives. It's like adopting a child that needs a loving home, only much more important. For example, you can see an old naked Honda CB1000, and even though you know there are much better naked bikes out there, you still think, but I could make it better, and that it would be a great bike to add to my collection. Whether you are riding a 125 and want a 300, riding a 600 and want a 1000, or ride a 1000 and want a supercharged H2, we are never content with our current bike, or at least never content with only one bike. And although I don't know of any cures of this completely normal behavior, I do have a few ways to bring back that feeling that you had for your bike during your first month of ownership. The only downside is that they all have a shelf life. After a few good rides, or maybe the bike's been sitting for a few days and the mud and dust has been piling up, it always makes the bike look a bit sad. It makes you a bit reluctant to jump on it and go for a ride. And you start to spend more time on Bike Trader, searching through dream bikes and staring more intently as your dream bike rides past. But the truth is that the bike is still the same shiny bike you love. It just needs a bit of TLC, and for its owner to stop putting off the much needed wash, and to stop being lazy. Spending a few hours lathering her up, cleaning all the hard to reach places, maybe even a bit of clay bar rubbed over the precious paint to bring back the smooth sparkle, and ending off with a genuine bit of elbow grease in the form of a polish. When you see your bike back to full health, showing off its best features, smooth paint, and eager to ride again look, it can feel like a new bike all over again. But the fact that it's now clean is not the only thing that has restored the love. It's the time spent with the bike. The only downside is the shelf life of this method, because that new bike feel will only last until your next ride, when you will undoubtedly find that unavoidable puddle that'll splash up on your precious TLC. The first few rides on a new bike make you feel somewhat like a pilot. The brakes feel crisp and the gearbox feels seamless. But whether it's getting used to the bike or putting a lot of wearing and tearing miles on the bike, it can slowly start to feel less like Maverick's M1 and more like the Pee-wee 80 you started on. Brembos and quickshifters start to seep into your dreams, and before you know it, they're attached to other bikes that don't look half bad either. But instead of going over the heart-aching finances to see what it would take to possess this modern technology, there are a few easy quirks to fix the bike you take for granted, and all it takes is a bit of monkeying around in the garage. Tightening your chain and giving it some color-matching wax can instantly make your gear changes feel more like a flappy pedal gearbox, and result in less embarrassing neutral encounters and clunky gear changes. Bleeding your brakes to get rid of the power pinching bubbles out of your lines will get rid of the squishy feel in your brake lever and get rid of some of the fear when flying into corners or the back of cars. And even easier than any other maintenance is purely putting some more sky into your tires. At the right pressure, cornering won't feel like falling off a wall anymore. This is by far the best bang for your buck method to love your bike again, and can result in around a week's worth of riding around a bike that feels like it was stolen from your ideal garage. Doing a 180 on the affordable side of getting a good as new bike is getting a new modification, unlocking a new noise that you didn't know your bike could make. With a less legal, less bunny-hugging exhaust pipe is by far the most expensive way to love your bike again. This is like the midlife crisis way of spicing up your relationship with your bike, but is definitely the one that we all dream about. However, don't think that getting new performance out of your bike has to cost a lot. There are plenty of affordable modifications to settle for if your wallet is as thin as a scooter's wheel. Steel braided brake lines cost less than new tires, but can increase your deceleration horsepower numbers surprisingly well. Even strange accessories like anodized reservoir lids, KTM assure you will get you loving your bike more. at the price that KTM owners will reassure you is completely worth it. Bang for your buck is not what you get with this method, but you will be left with at least a week's worth of satisfaction, a more desirable bike, and possibly an expensive addiction. We all have that one thing around motorcycling that matters to us most. Whether it's fast cornering, long wheelies, top speed, or riding an intricate trail. We're not trying to chase what excites us on the bike. Riding can become a bit stale. So beating your current record can reignite your passion for what got you into motorcycles. Getting your knee down for the first time is a great goal that gets you to spend more time on your bike and creates a new bond with it. Joining the 299 Club, of course on the Autobahn in Germany, is a lifelong dream for many. Or even finding the fastest route through your favorite trail in town to make your GS feel like it was born for the Dakar. These are all goals or milestones that can make a bike priceless to the owner. There is no better way to make a bike feel more like your own and better than every single one that was made in the same factory as it than checking off a bunch of milestones. However, the shelf life on this one can range anywhere from a lifetime until you get home and see that some guy on YouTube did 320 kilometers an hour. But either way, your passion will be refueled. Chances are, even if you think your bike is perfect, it has a lot of unlocked potential. Before you think you need to start saving for an HP4 race, because it's the closest thing to a world superbike, there are methods that are not only a lot cheaper than a small house, but free altogether to get the performance you require. If you want to feel more like a racer, try something new and turn that gearbox on its head. Flip your gear linkage 180 degrees and suddenly, under hard braking, downshifting is effortless. Take an hour to learn what all the screws, knobs and fobs up and down your forks and shock do and fiddle with them to fit you as the rider. If it doesn't feel like a new bike at this point, you either got it horribly wrong or resort to the basics and play around with tire pressure. Because changes as simple as this can change your riding experience entirely. This method is aimed at the data geek and can keep you entertained anywhere from a week to a few months, depending on how fast you can learn. But learning new things about what your bike can do can always make you fancy it a little bit more. Well, there you have it. 5 ways to save money, want less bikes, appreciate your bike more, and get the best out of your current bike. If you have any more that I've left out, please add them down in the comments below. And if you know of anyone who wants a bike far too often, be sure to share this video with them. And please don't forget the pleasantries. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button.